Hi everyone, I'm back with quite an interesting diary entry from 1906. It's a relatively short one compared to what we had with the 8th, but not at all uneventful. I think I titled yesterday's The Little Commander, and that would also fit well for today's. It would be even a little better for today's, but I have a feeling there will be even more appropriate videos for that title coming up. So we're skipping a couple days today. Dimitri doesn't write on the 9th or the 10th. So we're up to 11th April 1906, which is a Tuesday. And let's dive in. My fate has been decided. I have to pass in front of the battalion with a drawn saber. The day after tomorrow, I'll have a special rehearsal, and I'll probably get muddled up. On the evening of the 18th, the Sovereign will take me with him to the dinner for the battalion. That also scares me a lot because I'll probably have to make a toast. In short, everything I'll be doing this week and next will be terribly scary. Every day I'm practicing all the motions I need to do with the saber. I even did it in front of Velter, which made us both laugh a lot. This evening I got slapped by GM because I danced the Ryukyu as a joke. Because I danced the Ryukyu as a joke, of course. GM says it's frightfully vulgar. I don't know why. Today I went into the private garden, the little farm, with Velter. It was so strange to see all the things we used to play with. I intend to fix the railroad, i.e. just the sleepers. It's very easy to do. The only thing that's hard is to remove the rails without damaging them. That's a bit of a challenge. There will be rifle training next week, 9:30. So 9:30 at night was when he finished writing this. Okay, my fate has been decided. You know, every once in a while he uses these quite grave and poetic expressions, which I like about him. And he's going to be reviewing the battalion and going in front of them at the parade. And yes, and then he's going to have to give a toast at dinner, most likely. And all of this is very scary for a 14-year-old, but I think he's absolutely delighted with it. He just doesn't want to embarrass himself, which is quite understandable. And so, they're giving him plenty of chance to practice. He'll have a special rehearsal, presumably with the battalion, and he is practicing at home with his saber, and the word he uses is shashka. Which, it's a saber. So, he practices it in front of his teacher and buddy Velter, and they both laugh, and that's very typical of Dimitri to see the funny side of things, especially if he makes a mistake or if he's doing this sort of fierce routine in front of somebody who knows him well as, like I said, as a kind of buddy. All right, and I'm sure that he'll have help from Uncle Nicky or other people in having the toast prepared in advance. So I don't think he needs to worry about that. So this new incident with GM seems to have been a man with a bit of a short fuse and not sort of grasping how teenagers look at the world, I guess. And this is kind of like the homework issue is a situation that everyone can relate to. The more things change, the more they stay the same. He does a dance that doesn't please the parent, in this case GM, and he gets slapped because the dance is terribly vulgar. And he doesn't know why, and I have to say that I don't know why either. He has this rather belabored transliteration or actually it's not a transliteration. He tries to put the Japanese word in Russian, but I was able to figure it out phonetically that it's this dance, this traditional women's dance that originated in or on, I guess, Okinawa. And it's a kind of classical dance. And it was originally developed for women to entertain visiting envoys from China, but it doesn't seem to have been I don't want to be offensive, but it doesn't seem to have been a geisha kind of thing. It seems to have been more formal and ceremonial and traditional. So I was able to find a couple videos online of women doing this dance, and I honestly didn't see anything suggestive. So, but maybe this was Dimitri's version of it. It's an interesting question to ask where he would have seen it. Of course, he wasn't looking for videos on YouTube, so where on earth would he have seen this? I doubt it would have been one of the dances that they taught at his dancing class in Pavlovsk. That just doesn't even seem remotely possible, especially if it was considered such a vulgar dance. And that is not a word choice from me. That word exists in Russian, and it's the word that Dmitri uses, that he got slapped because it was vulgar, frightfully vulgar, but he was doing it as a joke. Okay, so the last little part about the playground. Basically, it was the playground when they were little kids, and maybe I think specifically for them because I think they're living in a palace that was owned by Paul, their father. But it could also be that this was a Tsarskaya Selo and that it was used. No, actually it couldn't be, because if it was still in use, there wouldn't be really it wouldn't be sort of run down, which seems to be the case. So there's this little railroad, and the sleepers are, maybe the wood rotted or something, but the challenge is to take the rails off so that those can be replaced or fixed, as Dmitri puts it. And the only reason that this is significant, aside from the fact that little Grand Dukes and Grand Duchesses had fantastic toys, is that this would be a lifelong passion of Dimitri's to do model railroading. So it sounds like this is outdoors, and I'm assuming it was fairly large. And he would do O-gauge. His son told me that he did O-gauge model railroading, and the O-gauge is pretty big, but it's not, it's not like something you would have, as a children's toy that you would ride on or something like that. Of course, I don't know if this railroad was that big either. So he's decided to do that. Maybe he'll put some of his newly learned skills to use that he had in his woodworking, or what in a modern American school you would call a shop class. Okay, rifle training. So is this going to be firing a rifle, or is it going to be for the sake of the events coming up, the parade and all of that, for handling a rifle in a military review or on parade? Of course, he's not going to have a rifle. He's going to have a saber, but it makes sense that if he is the commander, even the honorary commander of a rifle battalion, he should know how to handle a rifle. All right, so that's it for this one today. Relatively short. I'm a bit pressed today time-wise because I have a student for which I'm going over to the far side of Portland from where I live, and I also am clearing out of my friend's house where I have been house sitting. So I need to do that before I go over and meet with my student. I need to take my dogs on a walk. So I may not be doing the second diary entry, the 1921 diary entry, until this evening. All right, so exciting things coming up. We'll see how Dmitri actually does at his rehearsal and then at the actual event of the parade and the dinner. That should be quite interesting, and whether he nails it or whether he flubs anything. So come back for that. And meanwhile, if you get a chance, watch Ryukyu Dance on YouTube. And if you can figure out why GM objected to it, then do let me know. All right, bye.